Next on Worcester News Tonight, a vigil for Orlando is held outside of City Hall. Plus, are you in the market to buy a historic Worcester building? The city shows off the Memorial Auditorium to potential buyers. Good evening, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. We begin tonight here in the city where a vigil for the victims of the Orlando massacre was held outside of City Hall. Hundreds gathered to show their support and pay their respects. Religious leaders from across the city came together and spoke. A moment of silence was also held and the names of the victims were read aloud. City Councilor Sarai Rivera was in attendance and says vigils like tonight are important for communities like Worcester after national tragedies.
You know, this is being able to bring awareness to be able to show that this is still an issue. There's still issues of hate out there and discrimination and violation of human rights. And I think it's so important that we come together and continue to denounce any type of hate and discrimination and be able to say every human being, regardless of your belief, regardless of your background, regardless of your political views, all human beings should be treated with dignity and fairness. And we should never lose our humanity and compassion.
New details in the Orlando terror attack. Today we're hearing from the brother of a Leominster man who remains hospitalized following the shooting. Jeff Rodriguez was shot 3 times and remains in critical condition. His youngest brother Santos says Jeff texted him after getting shot, but he thought it was a joke. In the messages, Jeff says, "Dead bodies on top of me. Tell everyone I love them." But Santos says it wasn't until he Googled Pulse nightclub that he knew his brother was telling the truth. Once he figured that out, he rushed to get to Orlando.
And it's about an hour and 40-minute drive, hour 45. It literally took me like 50 minutes. I was driving 100 miles an hour, just going straight.
Santos credits Jeff's close friend for helping save his life. He says she put pressure on his wounds and kept him awake as they waited hours for a SWAT team to break inside. Many seniors in Central Mass have just a couple months left before they become college freshmen. Tonight, Girls Inc. held its 5th annual college shower and made sure 17 girls would be ready for the first day of class. Our Jennifer Zarate has more.
We shower our girls with gifts of college essentials that they need when they go to college.
Girls Inc. CEO Victoria Warren congratulates 17 graduating senior girls from Worcester high schools who have dedicated themselves to achieving academic excellence. As a gift, Girls Inc. threw them a college shower. Each received college supplies thanks to donations from several area companies.
This is amazing for our girls to have this kind of support, both financially, emotionally, that we're rooting for them. When they go to college, they know that they've got a place to come back to.
Jade Norte, a senior at Abby Kelly Foster Charter Public School, was also awarded the Sandy Walsh Memorial Award in recognition for her strong work ethic. Norte has been a Girls Inc. member since she was 4 years old.
Girls Inc. has been almost like a home for me for the past 13 years. It's kind of sad now that I have to leave, but they've prepared me so much for the future ahead of me. So I'm just excited and I'll forever be grateful for everything that they've done.
Worcester Public Schools Superintendent Maureen Benenda is a Girls Inc. alum and says the agency has provided girls with the necessary support to succeed.
I myself came to Girls Inc. at 5 years old. And so I've been involved with Girls Inc. now for close to 50 years. And we need to encourage girls to be risk takers, to get very well educated, and to get really good jobs and continue to make a difference in the world.
Carl Stort's representative, Margarita Navarro, is the mother of a graduating senior. She says her daughter, Monique, has been with Girls Inc. since middle school.
I saw my daughter from being a very shy young girl to being a signed model. She is a model, professional model, and all this is because of one of the programs that she actually participated in here in Girls Inc.
Norte will go to Anna Maria College next fall. Her advice to younger girls:
take hold of every opportunity that's given to you because you never know what it's going to bring. So just make the best of every situation and keep moving forward.
Congratulations to the class of 2016. Girls Inc. is proud to announce that 17 graduates will be attending 12 different universities and colleges, including the University of Puerto Rico. In Worcester, Jennifer Zarate, Worcester News Tonight.
Certainly some impressive young women. Well, a local organization that is tasked with preserving Worcester's past celebrated a milestone this evening. Over 250 friends and supporters of the Worcester Historical Museum gathered to celebrate its 140th anniversary. Mayor Joseph Petty declared this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday Worcester Historical Museum Days. To celebrate, the museum will have free admission. It was also announced tonight that the museum is trying to raise $12.5 million, $7.7 million of which has already been donated. Director William Wallace, who has been with the museum for 40 years, says it's a perfect time to revisit or visit the museum for the first time.
The Worcester Historical Museum is the community's museum, so we're hoping people will take advantage of Worcester Historical Museum Days. We have a special exhibit called Some Favorite Things I've chosen in honor of my anniversary. I've chosen some things from the collection that I really liked, and so it's a diversity of things. People should come see it.
The Worcester Historical Museum has a collection that dates back to the 15th century. Again, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there will be free admission. Police are investigating a robbery in Webster. They say a 26-year-old man is now facing charges, including attempted murder after hitting a clerk in the head while trying to rob a liquor store. Our Olivia Lemon has the details.
They did charge him with attempted murder for the repeated blows to the clerk.
Webster police say 26-year-old Charles Masek hit a Hank's package store clerk in the head with an axe handle Tuesday night. Masek and another man were allegedly trying to steal a bottle of alcohol.
Your best bet, someone's shoplifting, or if you see a crime and you're a clerk at a store, call 911. Even if it means the person walks out with the merchandise.
The store keeps the axe handle for protection, but Masek was able to grab it from the clerk and use it against him. Police say Masek left the scene and was found shortly after. A driver called saying someone asked for a ride covered in blood.
Fortunately, in Webster, there's not too many people walking around covered in blood asking for rides, so we were able to figure it out pretty quick.
Police say although there have been a few other incidents of people stealing merchandise from Hank's, this is the first time there's been an armed robbery. Masek faces multiple charges, including assault with the intent to murder and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Meanwhile, police are still looking for a second suspect.
Didn't participate in the assault, what we believe, but we still would like to find out who he is, because there may be criminal charges coming.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Two Worcester men are facing charges after a drug raid uncovered a gun and large sums of money. Samuel Lopez and Joshua Rivera were arrested Tuesday night after searches of 5 different locations and 2 vehicles in Worcester. Authorities seized 6 pounds of marijuana, other drugs, a gun, ammunition, and $90,000. Rivera was held on $20,000 cash bail. Lopez was held without bail pending a dangerousness hearing. A Dudley man has died from injuries sustained in a motorcycle accident in Auburn. Jeff Figueroa was riding his motorcycle on Route 20 at South Street Tuesday afternoon. Witnesses say a vehicle turned in front of Figueroa's motorcycle, causing him to strike the passenger side. The operator of the vehicle has been identified as Robert Sikorski of Sterling. No word yet if he was injured or if any charges will be filed. Clark University hosted the 3rd annual Healthy Boys and Men Summit today. Hundreds of men and boys attended. The one-day event is designed to help men and boys prevent violence and celebrate equality. Brittany Schaefer was there and has more.
Then when something like the Orlando shooting happens, it then becomes, oh, I almost want to take the Human Rights Campaign sticker off my car because I'm scared.
The Orlando shooting was a big topic at the 3rd annual Healthy Men and Boys Summit.
In terms of the topics for today, is that this was a crime motivated, at least in part, if not entirely, by homophobia and fear of people who don't conform to dominant gender norms.
We're all very broken apart from each other, and there's a lot of hurt between groups in our societies.
The summit focused on preventing violence and advancing equality in men, both topics relevant in the mass shooting.
Boys technically start off as sensitive and caring, and how violence is taught.
We're normalizing violence, we're celebrating violence, and we're not providing other options as ways for men to solve problems in their lives.
Clark psychology professor Michael Addis says the Orlando shooter is an example of men turning to violence to solve their problems.
We see this kind of outbreak of hostility and violence towards people who are not conforming to dominant gender norms all over society.
According to Time magazine, men are responsible for 98% of all mass shootings. Addis says in order for these repetitive acts of violence to stop, the nation needs to redefine masculinity.
As a culture, as long as we subscribe to a sort of toxic definition of masculinity, which involves dominance and violence and restriction of our own emotional vulnerability, then we're adding fuel to that fire.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
It's a historic building in Worcester that has been empty for years, and the city wants to change that. Today, several groups toured the Worcester Memorial Auditorium. Arnie Madison got a look inside and has more.
5 different groups going through the city's Memorial Auditorium today.
Somewhere from Worcester, some have investments throughout Central Mass and really Massachusetts. Some local guys, some regional people as well.
Built more than 80 years ago, the auditorium has been empty for several years. Today could be the next step in redeveloping the building.
We believe that any proposed development will be some type of mixed-use project, and hopefully we get some interesting ideas and we can try to advance some of them.
The roof is that's been replaced. That's probably around like 5 years ago, roughly 5-6 years ago. The heating system's been upgraded, and that's probably been about 8 years now.
The city issued a request for interest earlier this month for the auditorium to see who is interested in buying and revitalizing it. There are several suggestions on what to do with the 110,000 square foot space the building has, and the city says they are open to all suggestions.
The basement, which was the old probate court, was used up until probably about 8 years ago. This actual auditorium hasn't been used since probably the mid-90s, I would say 1994, 95, for public space.
With an iconic mural and a location near the art museum, it's a building the city is trying to restore and use. But that all depends on what interest there is from developers and the cost.
We'll just continue to do it and be very aggressive trying to find somebody. We're not going to give up on the building.
Andy Madison, Worcester.